question.
Yeah. No, I'd like to start with a quick statement. Just to, again, thank everyone for taking the time, and just want to give a little update of what's been going on here with our program in women's basketball, where we are, and what we hope our next steps are going to be. We finished the academic year as well as we have in the previous 13 years that I've been here. We had great success in the classroom, one of the highest team GPAs that we've had. Had 4 players graduate, which is always something special to see. And just looking forward to seeing their careers now as they move forward. You've got Jasmine Jones and Kylie Shook, both were drafted, and now we're waiting to see, hopefully, when their season will start up. An anxious week and a half here for them, as they're going to cut down their rosters to 12 in the WNBA. So those 12 will be able to get paychecks on June 1. But you're going to have some people that are going to get cut without a training camp, without an opportunity to actually earn a spot. So it's got to be a little nerve-wracking for all of those players, but we're hoping that all of them can hang in there and continue to earn a roster spot. And then hopefully they'll be able to get their training camps up and running, and we'll be able to see a WNBA season. For our incoming players, everyone is finished, about to be finished. Haley Van Lith is our one who's her school goes a little bit later than everybody else's, but we're expecting her to finish up here in the next few weeks. Marissa Russell out of Canada is finished up. Olivia Cochran out of Georgia is finished. And then Alana Smith, our junior college player from Gulf Coast, is also finished. And now we're just waiting for some final transcripts and just some paperwork to be able to get them cleared for when that day comes that we will be allowed to have them back on campus. Hopefully that we'll be able to have them here also. Our current team has been doing a remarkable job with, just doing what they can at home. It's obviously unprecedented times. We have players that aren't able to get into weight training facilities or onto a basketball court, but they're figuring out ways to do things from home. Katie, our strength coach, and Beth Burns on staff have just done a wonderful job of making sure to give them, whatever workout plan will suit them for what they have at home. Some of them have some dumbbells, some of them have some free weights, or others don't have anything at home. So milk jugs, fill them up with water, carrying chairs up hills, whatever they can do. Our players have been doing to continue to keep their conditioning up. So as I said, when we get back here on campus, hopefully we haven't lost all that much. So if anybody's got any questions, be happy to answer them the best that I can. So feel free.
Hey, Jeff, Danielle Lerner from The Athletic. How are you?
I'm great, Danielle, and yourself?
Good, hanging in there. I guess my question is, now that Lindsay and Sagan have, landed at other programs, do you plan to fill their scholarships for the upcoming season, or are you going to save them to use for 2021, whether that's high school players or transfers?
No, that's a great question. We will not. I don't see us filling those spots for this upcoming season at all. Now, I'm not going to say it will never happen just in case something does surprise me, but I do not expect that to take place. And just want to wish both of them the best of luck. Great kids. We had some good talks about this process, their transferring process. Their families were outstanding. And, it's just two players that I think enjoyed their time here. Actually, I know they did, but just wanted the opportunity to play more. And that's part of it. So, we're excited for them. We're going to wish them nothing but the best, and we'll follow their career as they move forward.
Is this a situation where you might, take a sit-out transfer who wouldn't play this upcoming season but could then fill one of their spots the following season, or are you just going to go for high school players?
No, I mean, there really aren't many high school players out there right now, Danielle, that are good enough to come in and per se contribute to our team this upcoming season. And
well, I'm talking about for next season, for 21-22.
21-22.
Well, you got 2 commits in that class already.
Well, yeah, I've got two commits already for that class. We are still recruiting some high school kids. Now that those 2 spots have opened up, we are now looking at some high school players, and we'll continue to look at them. And then, if we get 1 or 2 that we like, sure, we would end up signing them. If not, we'll just wait and see what might come about from the transfer portal.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle.
Jeff, this is
Jeff, it's Rick.
HAS 11. Do you anticipate any more transfers, or do you think those 2 that'll be it for this cycle?
No, I mean, I think that will probably be it. It's one of those where we're just here to support the kids. If they want to decide to look at other options, and they can come in and we sit down and talk about it, because I was really impressed, as I said, with both Sagan and Lindsay, just with their maturity and their approach and what they were looking for. But I do not anticipate any more transfers.
Hey, Jeff, Rick Bozich at WDRB. With budget cutbacks and things going on, has it affected the way you schedule in the non-conference, and maybe scheduling games that are closer, easier trips that would be bus instead of a flight? How far are you into the non-conference schedule for next season?
Yeah, Rick, I've actually finished our non-conference schedule for next season, but we did have one cancellation. Our tournament up in New York when we were going to play UConn has been postponed. So I did sit there, and I'm waiting for a contract back from a university that's about a 3.5-hour bus ride through 3:15, and it just worked out for us, to be honest with you. We're scheduled to open up at Western Kentucky. Our second game is at Cincinnati. So we actually had a lot of bus games. Then we're playing up in a tournament in Gary, Indiana to take Dana Evans back. We have always tried to do a lot of home and homes and do it in a situation where it's easy travel. And we're fortunate enough where we're located to have enough of those games that are also good RPI games. We still are slated to fly down to Dallas to play a TCU the Saturday after Thanksgiving for the Maggie Dixon Classic. And then I'm trying to think if we have any other flights. I think that actually might be our only trip that we have scheduled right now, non-conference, that's a flying trip. So everything else is by bus, which works out for us. Now, the following year, we're trying to get out to Washington to take Haley Van Lith, get out to California to take Kiana Smith back home. So most of our trips, if we're going someplace, unless it's a Thanksgiving tournament, it's to try to take a player back home to be able to play in front of their family and friends.
So one follow-up question. The thing in Gary, is that downtown at the Genesis Center? Is that like
Yes.
a 2-team or a 4-team deal?
Well, it had started off as a 4-team deal, but unfortunately now it's going to be a 2-team. So it's just going to be a 1 game. And golly, I don't have that date right offhand.
Who are you playing?
It's probably going to be Valpo. We had planned on having 4 teams and having 2 Power 5s, and unfortunately, after the COVID virus went on, it's cut a lot of options out for the tournament director. So it's just going to be a 2-team, 1 game event right now.
Danielle here again. I know you had touched on previously that you were really excited to see Romani, Naya, and Kiana, get back on the court this season. Can you elaborate a little bit on each of their skill sets and how you think they'll fit in with your team?
Yeah, Kiana, I'll start with her. Kiana is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, she started at the point for Cal. Great court vision, great passer, shoots a 3, but she's got really good size. She's got good footwork in the post, can score around some people. Not the most imposing person per se. It's not like she's going to just back you down and beat you up, but very skilled. So really excited about what Kiana's going to bring to our team. We're going to have the opportunity to put 4 guards out on the floor many different times, but you could see a lineup of Kiana, Dana, Haley, and Alana Smith, who all 4 play point guard. And you're not going to have to worry about where an outlet pass goes. Just throw it to the one that's open, and then everybody else fills spots. So excited about what we're going to have with the versatility at the guard spot. Nia Green is in the best shape that I've ever seen her in, going back from when I watched her in high school. She is really committed to being a really, really good basketball player. I've talked to Nia. She knows that we're going to need her some at the 4 spot with her strength, her ability to rebound the ball, but she also passes it extremely well. So she's going to be able to be a trail 4 at times. That can stretch it with shooting a 3, but she's also going to be able to make some great decisions with the ball because she passes so well. And then Ramani is one. It took her a few months to really figure things out at our level, and I'm really proud of where she is right now. She'll give us some size. She's going to remind a lot of people of Kylie her freshman year. But she's probably a little bit more skilled than Kylie was. Can step out, shoots a 3, can block shots. Not per se a big time back to the basket post player because of her frame, but she does time. She has great timing, so I am going to expect her to be able to come in and help. Be the same type of defensive presence as Kylie was. Now, understanding Kylie was a senior. And you've got a kid coming in here as a freshman, a redshirt freshman, but still a freshman. So excited to see what those 3 are going to be able to do after a year of sitting out.
Coach Fred Callaghan from WLKY. Are you guys any closer to scenarios of how a season might work schedule-wise in terms of, when the kids would be able to actually practice together and all that stuff? Or what are you hearing different possibilities even?
We are still working on that right now. It's very fluid and what's going on. We're just keeping our fingers crossed that, that as more states open up, that things go well with those openings, because I think that's obviously going to be something that's very important and watched. And then when we get our chance to get our kids back here on campus, we have to make sure that we do a really good job also. And making sure everything is taken care of, every I's dotted, every T's crossed. And, we put these kids in a great situation, and then they have to do their part too. So we're just still waiting to see what's going to take place with that, but very optimistic.
Thank you.
Jeff, hey, Jody Dimley.
WHAS 11. What do you expect from Elizabeth Balagoon this year? She seemed to really have some nice moments last year for you guys.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is you're going to see a lot more consistency from Elizabeth. I think it took her a while to get adjusted to what was going on and kind of how we were doing things, and she showed some really, really bright spots at times. Looked really good. But I'm looking for more consistency from her, and that's something that we have talked about with her. And I think she's excited about that and ready to embrace it. So expect her to just do a lot of what she did, but a lot more consistently.
Jeff, hey, Jody Dimley with Cardinal Authority. What do you kind of expect from Alana? Because, we've heard a lot about Haley and Olivia and the high school kids, but, Alana's got a year at UCLA and then was JUCO Player of the Year. Your expectations for her coming in?
Well, I'm expecting her to come in with a little maturity when, like you say, when you've had the opportunity to learn and grow when you were at UCLA for a year and then a year at a junior college program, you should come in with a lot more knowledge of what's expected, how to do things, the level of play, the level of intensity, how you attack a practice. So she's got the skills. There's no question about it. You aren't named junior college player of the year by an accident. So now it's going to be her coming in here and adjusting to playing with other great players. Because that sometimes does take a little bit of time. But, from the conversations that I've had with her, she's excited about it. She knows we're not going to need her to come in here and score 25 points a game. We're not going to need anybody to score 25 points a game. That's what's going to make us so good is our depth.
One follow-up on the 4 incoming players. Have you or Katie, the strength? I mean, I assume you guys give them instructions, and do you worry? They've never been in your program. The other girls have. Do you worry about what they're doing now or how they're getting their work done in coming in behind maybe, say, in a normal year?
You know what? We won't be as far with them as we have been, and I won't say with all of them. With some of them, I mean. Haley Van Lith is out there working out every day with her dad. That's just what she does. It's who she is. Marissa Russell, when I talk to her, she's out running, and the cardio part I'm excited about. I just talked to Olivia Cochran. They're doing things. It's just a matter of doing them at the tempo and at the pace that they would be if they were here. So it's not like, as I like to say, they aren't sitting around eating bonbons. So, I know they're going to come in here with a little bit of conditioning, and we can get that taken care of. It's, 15 years ago or whatever it was, freshmen weren't even allowed to come in the summer. So I think everybody's going to be right where we need them to be once season starts up.
Jeff, this is Lucas. You can keep going.
Graham Hayes with ESPN. I just want to follow up quickly. You mentioned the tournament in New York where you were going to play Utah. Was that canceled by the organizers, and was it explained to you that was related to the impact of the virus?
Well, that's one thing that was talked to me about, was just because of what's going on right now was probably going to be difficult, to be able to get much of a crowd in there right now. So instead of just doing a wait and see, I think we have agreed to push it back for a year. So, we'll hopefully get a date worked out for next year and be able to get that up and going again.
And was that going to be in New York City?
Yes, it was. We had planned. We were scheduled to be playing at the Barclays Center.
Thanks.
Thank you, Graham.
This is Lucas with Courier-Journal. Kind of on the subject of New York, have you had much of a chance to catch up with Jasmine and Kylie just over the past month or so? And how are they doing ahead of, kind of like you said, a pretty stressful, high-stakes process coming up?
No, they're doing great. We've had the chance to text back and forth. We FaceTime, and both of them are doing well. Both of them are focused. Both of them have been working out. They've been in contact with New York. So they're doing everything that they're supposed to do. Now they're just waiting for that opportunity to hopefully get up there for a training camp.
Jeff, this is Gary Graves from AP. With everything shut down, basically, I mean, with all this extra time, have you been able to do something this off season in terms of planning or just looking at tapes that you hadn't been able to do in past off seasons?
Well, I think the most important thing that I've been able to do for the past 10 weeks is to be able to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner with my wife and my kids. I've been in this field for 25 years, and I've never had the opportunity to be at home for 10 straight weeks. So we're trying to find out. Now, I'm not sure my wife's always excited about that. that I've been home for 10 straight weeks. But she's been fantastic. She worked her tail off with the homeschooling of our girls, and they've just finished up, so they're excited about that. But on the side of the basketball, no. I've been doing a lot of virtual clinics, but it's not like we're doing anything different in terms of watching film, how we prepare, because that's one of the things I talked to my staff about. The last thing I wanted to do was to get so far ahead that once we start to get close to the season, it's like, okay, now I've really thrown myself out of complete my routine of what I like to do. So no, but we've been recruiting extremely hard, and we've probably been recruiting a lot more because kids aren't in school. They're homeschooled. So now they're calling a lot more than what they used to. So we've been probably busier now with the virus and everybody being at home than we were before.
Jeff, Danielle here again. Kind of on that note, it sounds like, maybe the NCAA's decision this week to extend the recruiting dead period even further through the end of June maybe isn't really going to affect you guys that much. I know it kind of eats into that quiet period that you guys had through July 5th, but were you really, planning to see any kids during that time anyway?
No, we can't. I don't think our recruiting started up until July 6th or something like that. I think it's 7 days out, 10 days back home, 5 days out through July recruiting. And I'm not even sure what events are going on yet. There are some that they've announced that they're still going to have the event and still going to play. So some tournaments, but it's just a matter of what the NCAA comes down with. And if they're going to extend our dead period out to the end of July, then obviously, we won't be able to go out and watch those. So we're just all in a holding pattern ourselves right now.
Anything else for Coach?
I've got one more, Nick. The team's Twitter account put out this question the other day, so Jeff, I'll ask you, but if you had to build an all-time starting five from players that you've had at Louisville, what would it be?
Wow, man, this is where you get me in trouble. Now I've got to call out some players. But you know what? One that I'd start off with is Monique Reed. I mean, everybody, I know you're going to think Angel and Shoni and Asia. But Mo is one that I'd put out there. I still say if Mo hadn't had that knee injury, I think in her sophomore year, after her sophomore year, Mo could have easily been one of the top five scorers in our program history. So you got to put Monique Reed in there. Obviously, you've got Asia Durr, Angel McCautry. I'd have Shoni in there. Man. And then right now, I'd probably, just to balance things out, I'd probably put Keisha in. God, who would I put in there? I need a four player. Who's my best one? I got Sam and Maisha. That's it. Maisha. See, she'll get mad at me now if she saw this. She'll be like, God, Coach, you forgot me. No, so I would say those five, but then like I say, we have had some special players who come through this program and blessed for all of them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.